good faces.
Frederick's hangar should be right.
We got all kinds of cool stuff here today.
Here we go. Let's go get Fred. So Ken, come on. Frederick. Oh, I see a Fokker.
I see.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen it since got the engine, you know, from New Zealand. Now come here, check out the. It's got the gun mount. It's got all the, you know, the things that the placards for the stuff. So that's pretty cool. Grip.
Now I had one of these. Is that?
That's a booster mag.
Yeah,
for
I know, and I have one for this airplane. That must be it.
Yeah, okay.
You see where he put the holes in the seat?
Oh, for the lacing, yeah.
For the lacing.
Yeah, see the thing they made up, the grease thing for the squirt for the Mercedes.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, you knew right where to go.
Hey, Fred.
Hi, Fred.
What's happening? How you been, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good.
Fred,
Hi,
how
Ken.
you doing?
Yeah, so this is coming along.
It's looking good.
Yeah, and when did you put the motor in?
Oh, geez, I put that in the spring.
Really?
Yeah.
So, okay, and I'm trying to think. Last time I was here, you know, I think the wings were pretty much done.
Yeah, well, I think they're completely done.
I mean, as far as the wood went and stuff. Yeah, cool. Huh. Yeah, so you're ready to cover all this.
Yeah, I got to put them on the airplane one more time to rig them. I don't have all of these tight and safety wired yet, but I just want to square them up. And
Those are rods, though. Those aren't cables.
It's music wire.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. So I got the information on the paint jobs, and Ken looked at it a little bit coming up. So we're still kind of. I see you went ahead and started regardless, just doing the ailerons.
Well, here's the. We started covering before I talked to you and said you wanted to wait and look at the wings first.
Right.
So
right.
we had already had those done.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we have all the coverings already sewn up. We're ready to slide them on and.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, yeah.
So when you say the covering's already sewn up, I mean you basically. Okay, so you've done for the lower wing, but the top wing. God, if we're going to paint it, we don't want to use the lozenge, do we?
Well,
We're still trying to figure out what we want to do.
well, this is what he sent us. So, because I thought that we were going to leave the top wing or the wings unpainted, so that he sent us that.
Okay. Did you get any other plain fabric?
Yeah, because that's what I covered the tail
Okay.
surfaces with.
Okay. So we'll see what we want to do.
Okay.
Huh.
I've been trying to get as much plumbing done as I can.
Right.
Because that's a pretty big job plumbing on one of these things.
Now, does this have a brass fuel tank as well?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. Check this out, Ken. And are you working on the triplane one for us?
Yeah, I just got a bunch of brass. It's sitting in the back room back there.
Okay.
So.
Huh. Interesting. So now, so you made up the ammo chutes?
Yeah.
Cool. Is it like the pilot's knees go here or something?
Yeah, that's padding, or I think it's some sort of crash padding, or. So that's the ammo can. That's the belt take-up can because they had cloth belts.
Yeah. So what did it hold? A couple, 300 rounds?
500 rounds.
500 rounds.
Yeah.
Of course, they're little bullets too. They're what?
Right.
7mm, 7.5. Oh, cool. So can we get enough of this to where we can just layer it up so we can see a bunch of it?
Well, your guns that Peter sent already has like this part faked. It has a fake belt coming out of the side, but it looks.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
so you will see those belts and the rounds in the ammo chutes. I think this is your fuel gauge.
For
Brian Coughlin had this. Did he trade you something, or was this part of a trade? Or
God, I can't remember anymore.
because Brian Coughlin gave this to me, thinking that you could use it in a D-VII,
Okay.
but because this is offset, it won't fit the tank properly.
So what has to happen?
Your gauge has to come right out of the middle,
Oh,
because
I see.
this sits right where a bulkhead sits.
Was this original?
That's an original gauge.
So the cork float just goes up and
Just
down.
goes up and down in there, and there's those.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool.
He said that was yours, so
Awesome.
you can take it with you if you want.
I know the.
So what? So was there? There's the compass.
So that's on the drawings, on the Jim Kiger's drawings, but I'm thinking about making a new floorboard that doesn't have that.
Yeah, if you're not gonna. And what? So what's the square thing?
If you look at TVAL's Fokker D-VIIIs, did you ever see that thing sticking out the bottom of the
I
fuselage?
sat in them when I was there in May, but I.
Well, the corrector magnets is I've got one on my tripod over there, but it's a long brass cylinder with compensating magnets in it. You know, I'm kind of hooking up the linkage for the engine, and I need the spark advance lever that goes on there. And I know they have them made up for the. It's exactly the same thing as on the Albatross. I don't know if you looked at the dashboard, but it has the exact same controls the Albatross has. I haven't even told Jim about it.
Is this a step?
Well, you can get in from this side if you want.
Oh man, this thing's got some meat. This is gonna be cool. Is this is all the same
It's all the exact-
set as the Albatross?
Exactly.
But it's a different layout, so if I wanted to put a little American in English card on here, I'd have to make a new
Yeah, but I
layout.
mean, if you get used to flying the Albatross, that's the exact same.
Yeah,
Exact same thing.
well, that's cool. Airplane.
Well, it's also a throttle. There will be a Bowden cable that comes in and attaches to this, so you can operate the engine from either.
But it's only if you like, can't remember what happens, your arm gets shot off or the cable gets shot off or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's sure not a lot of throw on the... Well, it gives you some leverage though. Huh. So you got double cables on the ailerons. Are they double on the rudders as well? No?
Just single on the rudder.
Huh.
Which I always thought was odd that they had double controls everywhere except on the rudder.
And what goes in this hole here?
I think the oil pressure gauge goes in there.
Pressure gauge in the Albatross?
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
think
wondering,
so.
isn't there?
No, I don't think so. There's a radiator temp. It probably just sticks up somewhere up there and you read it up there. How about the airspeed? Is it like on the Albatross?
Yep.
We need to get a list of everything that
Yeah.
we need and pretty cool. So this is going to be leather here.
Yep.
Just a little bit of cushion or something.
Yeah, there'll be padding in there, and then there'll be all covered with leather.
Yeah, so we need to decide on a paint job, and I need to, I guess, probably send you some money.
Well, we did have the final.
Oh, that's going to be too cool. Just drop the skid on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of want to see what it should be balanced, okay?
You don't use that handle. I don't have them tightened down yet.
Yeah, that's got some pretty cool class to it. Big skeg on the tail skid. The cool thing about these World War I airplanes is there's no brakes. It has a big tail skid that drags through the grass, so that is your brake. So when you actually pick the tail up to take off, then the wheels free roll. But if you want to slow down, the skid's got to be in the grass. It acts as a little bit of directional control, but that literally is your brake. So you're actually running the throttle and always giving yourself an out. And you know, one of the things you got to watch in a crosswind is the fact that once you get the tail up, the airplane wants to swing into the wind. So like anytime you want to turn around on a runway or something like that, what you end up doing is I always taxi to the downwind side, because then you're turning the plane into the wind, which is the way that it wants to go. So if you end up on the upwind side and you try and turn downwind, now you got the wind pushing you, the airplane doesn't want to turn anymore, and off the side of the runway you go. So that's not a good thing. The engine was overhauled by Peter Jackson's guys, the film director in New Zealand, Lord of the Rings and King Kong and stuff. He's a fanatic with World War I airplanes, and that's how we kind of connected through my friend that builds a lot of the airplanes for him and stuff. And the engines, Peter was actually trying to find an engine somewhere. He couldn't buy one, he couldn't borrow one anywhere on the planet. My friend called up, I had 3 of these Mercedes engines, which were original engines, and I ended up loaning them to him. They reverse engineered them, and they are building these engines from scratch. This is an original one that they overhauled, which is what the deal was. How could I refuse? Send my engines down, they send them back overhauled. So this is actually a second airplane that I'm going to have one of the original engines in. They built me a reproduction phenomenal Albatross that's at Fantasy Flight. So anyway, is this a 180 or a?
It's a 180.
Yeah, so it's 180 horsepower. The other one they rebuilt was 200, which is just a little bit different compression and stuff. But it sounds so cool. When people build replica World War I airplanes, they're kind of like what I call lookalikes. They basically put modern engines in them, and while they may look alike, they don't sound alike. And so the difference is, like, this airplane ought to sound like a Harley, but all of a sudden you see something going by and it sounds like a Honda. Okay, it looks similar. And you know, a lot of the other airplanes are made, the Fokkers like this one were built out of steel tube and welded and braced and stuff, you know. And most modern home builds are built like this, but a lot of the airplanes like a Sopwith Camel, Newports and things like that, they were actually made out of wood and wire braced. And what happens is when the guys make like a home built replica, they just weld it up out of steel too because it's easy. So they really give up a lot of what the originality, which is what we strive to do. So anyway, and Fred's doing a great job, you know, trying to put all the details in with the, we've had some, you know, some original instruments, but some of them have been reproduced. And you found a prop, original prop we're going to copy.
Yep, it's being copied right now.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Too cool.
In fact, I hope to have it in a month or so.
Great.
I put the identification tags on there as 2076, which is the one with the unpainted wings.
Oh, really? Okay.
And you'll see I painted it on the rudder too. But I mean, I can cut those off and change them if you want to, you know, if you pick a different airplane.
Well, you know, let me ask you this, is there, where did that go? I saw him.
Right here.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. I mean, that's kind of what I was, that's kind of what I wanted to do. This is what you say, the French?
That's a Memorial Flight Association's
Okay.
D-VII. Now you can see it's got the striped wings, but there's no red in it.
Right.
And it's
But are they,
red
oh, and they are diagonally striped.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it's all lozenge.
Well, just the wings are all lozenge.
But there's no stripes.
no stripes. But everything else is red. The fuselage is red, the tail surface are red, the wheel discs are red, the struts are red.
Candy striped wing, which was influenced on my first airplane that I built when I was in high school. So that's why I've always wanted to do it. Although I don't remember him having the stripes on them.
I don't either.
Really? Yeah, I mean, to me that's almost too much.
But this one's like that. This one has those same white, you can't see it because you're looking at it from
yeah.
but it has those same stripes. I think the tail just has them. I don't think it goes up the spine of the fuselage.
That's what, okay.
That has, I've seen a picture of that from behind and it has those stripes on it as well.
Yeah. You know, I kind of like the, you know, the squadron leader streamers.
I like
and,
that too.
Although some of the guys used to do them on the struts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these are the wings for the Fokker D-VII. We're having a little bit of a conversation as to how we're going to paint it. I kind of wanted to paint it one way. with a lot of candy stripes up on the top wing. We've got this really cool lozenge fabric that was sent up from New Zealand that you know, really looks neat. It's on the wings of my Albatross. So we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do. At a minimum, the bottom wing, regardless, is going to be in the lozenge fabric, which is actually a printed fabric that has clear dope. It was actually kind of a camouflage pattern that was printed right on the fabric, and then they would just basically cover the wing and put the clear dope on it, and they didn't have to paint it. So it's pretty neat. So we'll figure it out. This is kind of neat over here. They actually just use a little trailing edge wire for the trailing edge. So when the fabric goes around here and it tightens, it actually gives it a kind of, it tightens it up. It gives it a little bit of a scalloped effect, which is kind of a trademark of some of the Fokker airplanes, the Fokker triplane, Fokker D-VII. So it's pretty neat. Anyway, Fred's doing a great job, and I'm excited about getting it going. And the reason they're not covered yet is I really wanted to inspect them one last time before we went ahead and put the fabric on it. So anyway, pretty cool.